Signs Unscripted. I'm Robin Donovan, Signs of the Times editor-in-chief, and with me today is
Alison, Director of Education and Workforce Development with the International Sign Association, and we're in Alexandria, Virginia.
Great, so pretty close to D.C. then.
Yes, just about 5 miles outside.
Awesome. So we got in touch because you wrote in about a recent column that was in the magazine. Tell us about that.
Sure. So we know you were talking about finding workers and the challenges, and we always know from talking with our members that one of their biggest challenges is finding and attracting talent, and especially getting students engaged with the sign industry and how do they do that. And one of the programs that we certainly haven't, eradicated the problem, but we have started Sign Manufacturing Day, and it's been a great program that has really engaged students in the career and technical field, from welding to graphic design to visual communications. And it's been a way to engage those students, schools, and teachers with the industry. And our company, member companies, and the industry as a whole has really embraced that. Last year we had 88 companies across the US and Canada participate, and they invited those students in. And we know that bringing students in and introducing them to the industry makes a huge difference. We research and we survey the students, and we found out that before going into a tour, 23% of students had an interest in the sign industry for a career. Mm-hmm. But going in, talking to employees, seeing what the industry has to offer, imagining themselves in that career, once they leave, 86% now said that they had an interest in a career and would pursue it. And one of the great things that I think comes out of it is that our companies are able to build a relationship with the schools and the teachers, and it really becomes that 365 event where they're doing tours throughout the year, job shadowing, they're starting internship and work-based learning programs, and they're even making direct hires. So it's beginning to fill that pipeline need that they have, and engaging that younger generation.
Yeah, definitely. And let me back up one step if anyone's curious. This is in relation to Eric Larsen's column in the June issue of this year that was about workforce development. And there's going to be a follow-up in August, and we'll be running Alison's comments in that same issue, along with actually a letter from a reader who had sent us like her 8 ideas for workforce development. Alison, I've definitely attended Sign Manufacturing Day a couple times at actually Ramsey Signs here in Portland. And it's been really cool. And you're absolutely right that the kids are very drawn in by the hands-on. Interestingly, neon bending seems to be really popular. And so I think anything that, it seems dangerous, it seems cool. And the kinds of questions I see kids asking are like, how much is the sign worth? And they want to know about like, did you ever did you ever break anything? Did you ever drop anything? Like who drives the whatever truck, like the cranes and everything. So I guess one of the things, that Eric talks about that I was hoping you would address is just this kind of need to recruit and retain. So there's, as you're describing, there's an opportunity to make an investment with younger people. So how do you follow up when it's like hiring time, and how do you kind of,
Sure,
maintain those relationships if possible?
Well, I think what's great is that Sign Manufacturing Day and then building those relationships with the schools is a way to engage that pipeline and show them that they're there. And then not only is that critical for getting them in the door and introducing them to the career, because it's introducing also the educators to say what you're teaching your students are exactly those skills we're looking for. So down the road, you may not have thought of the industry as an opportunity for your students, but now we're being able to tell them about it. Yeah. But then as they're going to be hiring and then coming into a career, companies are realizing how critical it is to educate and continue to educate not only and onboard the new employees, but their existing employees, because the world is ever changing and new skills are needed, and they need to develop those employees. So it's critically important once they bring those employees on to continue that education path, because they want them to be able to grow in their career, continue there. And I think that's also one of the things that students see when they talk to employees at the when they go for sign manufacturing day is that so many of the employees stay with a company, which isn't always the case. But they like being able to see how diversified the work is. They like being able to talk to the employees. They like how people who own the company or in advanced positions or more leadership started off at working with their hands and in the trade, and then were able to move because they then had an interest in project management. And so working with our companies and through our ISA online learning, we've created and expanded our education so that there is a series of education so that employees can be brought on, onboarded, and then upskilled along the way so that that education can continue. Because that's vitally important. Once people start a job, they need to be onboarded with a series of potentially intro courses that talk about what the industry is, what they can do, and then upskilled and advanced in their career so they can be cross-trained on different programs.
Yeah, and I know people always bring up concerns about what if they invest in training and then the person leaves. And I think our standard response to that has been to say it's still the best course of action that does happen, but hopefully if you're building a really strong culture that there'll also be like a retention benefit to that. But do you have any additional insight?
I think that that's definitely a concern that people have, but I think they also realize that employees want to be educated and they want to continue their development, and that, to your point, creates a broader culture and a better culture, and one that shows that they're investing in their employees. They want to bring them on and they want their growth to continue, and they want them to be able to develop in their career. And so by giving them education, letting them take advantage of the digital badge program so they're able to showcase their skills and their learning and take that up. So it's, a 3-tiered program that ISA developed for the digital badge. They're able to earn a badge for their course completion, advance to additional proficiency for a subject area, and then culminate with that sign industry professional badge that shows comprehensive learning and a broad knowledge of the skills that people need within the industry. People are really doing it. And what excites me is that the industry is taking advantage of that, and they are seeing the value of that, and they want their employees to be educated, because we've given out and awarded over 5,500 badges since the program launched in the fall of 2015, including 15 sign industry professional badges. So companies are educating their employees and are excited to have their employees earn these awards.
Yeah. So what do you think, like, as far as, outside the digital badge program, what are some factors in retention? Or to make it a more pointed question, what do you think are some of the reasons that people leave sign companies? Because we hear a lot about that, and the turnover and just the difficulty of keeping people, especially companies that are smaller have mentioned this. I think the larger companies sometimes have more resources to do the kinds of benefits and things that are retention factors, but what do you think are reasons that people leave?
I think that it's similar, and it's not unique to the sign industry. It's competitive out there.
Yeah.
And other manufacturers, we're all working for the same pool of potential employees out there, and people who are looking for workers, whether it's a graphic designer, a welder, an electrical, some of the electrical skills that they're looking for. So I think that it's natural that people are going to be looking for new chances, potentially better pay, looking for advancement, looking for that room for advancement to see where they might be able to grow. And so I think that companies are becoming better about saying, here's where you have a potential path. Let's have that discussion about if you want to do career development and show where you can move. Even smaller companies are giving people more responsibility, so that someone who maybe started in welding is now doing graphic design or helping out on those projects or becoming a project manager or sales, because that was something they had an interest in. And I think it's people talking with their employees, learning what they're interested in, and it goes beyond just pay. It's the benefits and the camaraderie, the culture, and what people are looking for.
Definitely. Okay, so one more question before I let you go. What if people are wanting to participate in Sign Manufacturing Day, which you mentioned at the beginning, and that's where folks can open up their shop and host a group of typically high school, right, students for a portion of the day or a couple hours to give a tour. How do they do that, and when is the next one?
Sure. Sign Manufacturing Day is the first Friday in October. So it'll be this Friday, this October, it'll be Friday, October 2nd. And they can go to signs.org/MFG Day to get information, to sign up, to get additional information. We put together a toolkit. We're looking at it differently this year to see what other opportunities might be available given the pandemic. We're looking at some virtual recommendations for people, but we put together a toolkit and have all that type of information out there. So we try to make it as turnkey as possible for companies to get engaged.
Awesome. Yeah. And I think interestingly, virtual might even make it a little easier for some companies to do it because they could do something short and they don't have to worry about like, okay, like super duper clean up and make sure and, like put anything away. And I'm not sure I'm sure all the sign companies in America are completely clean, but maybe like one or two people would have to tidy up.
Absolutely. I think virtual will give it a new experience because it would be shorter used, and also it might engage some schools that couldn't attend before because they might not be able to get busing, or they might decide more last minute, and this will allow them to get into the school.
Yeah, I love that.
Other things.
Okay, Allison, thank you so much for joining me today. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much. It was great to be part of this.